I'd like to offer something on the book of Ecclesiastes, and it's sometimes hard to know what to offer from the book of Ecclesiastes. The preacher is what it's interpreted as, the person who's giving this book of wisdom. By the description of himself, it's likely a Solomon or a work attributed to Solomon. I have no problem saying that this is Solomon, David's son, who is king in Israel. And, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. It would seem that that's the case. Everything goes the way of all flesh, that is, to death. But read the whole thing and understand that there are better ways to living than other ways of living. And so this is considered a book of wisdom. There's wisdom in it. Sometimes I don't like what seems to be the conclusion of certain sections of it. But clearly, even though we are all on the journey together and nobody escapes this life alive because of sin and death, I think if you pay attention clearly to it, as Solomon discovers so much vanity in all the earth, he does have something to say as to what are the better ways of living as opposed to other ways of living. But it takes particular attention to understand that through the whole book. And we do find that clearly there are some books that are much easier to interpret than other books. And some of the books of wisdom, so-called, and I guess rightly so-called, are a little bit harder to follow and a little bit harder to come to the most helpful of conclusions. So pay close attention. But of course, there are other things that need close attention to in all the Bible. I wouldn't really recommend that Ecclesiastes be the main book by which you order your life. But do pay attention to the wisdom in there, and don't just, after we read a section of it, continue reading or reading what is before that, rather than jumping to a conclusion that the book is about things showing that nothing really matters. I think that would be a wrong way of taking Ecclesiastes. And understand also that all these things are presently bound together because really they should be read in light of one another. There's some serious problems that happen when people emphasize what is in one book while ignoring all the rest of Scripture, seemingly, in order to justify themselves. So this is one book to read with some care, and I think it's very helpful to read this in light of the other Scriptures we have. Thank you very much. God bless.